Welcome into the H&H podcast. I'm your boy Ahmad Hicks alongside my brother Henry Lake. And as we kind of always do every week on this podcast, we have to start with the elephant in the room and seeing how we're in Minnesota. The biggest talker, the biggest storyline each and every week, unfortunately right now, is quarterback J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
I hate that we have to start every show talking about Nine.
And we do.
And what he's doing, because this is a show where we want to talk about other things. We want to talk about other sports. But that being said, Nine is the biggest storyline in Minnesota right now.
Because it's not settled.
It's not.
Yeah.
And okay, thoughts on your overall assessment, broad assessment of Kevin O'Connell saying he was not the quarterback whisperer, has not developed. Did you go back and watch the tape and see the plays that he was dialing up? Because these guys were open. JJ was either missing the throws or guys were not catching the ball.
Yeah, it wasn't on KLC. The game plan was phenomenal.
Okay.
Like guys were running wide open.
Yeah.
It was the execution from the quarterback.
Right.
JJ McCarthy was way off. I thought that he was horrible with regards to his accuracy. Like right now, he's not an accurate quarterback. He's just not. And it's funny because me and our friend, and I love him to death, Seth Kaplan, we were on opposite sides of this on the weekend.
I saw it.
In terms of, from the standpoint of, were there some drop footballs? Without question.
6.
Jordan Addison and guys, you guys got to catch the football because the quarterback's not going to be perfect, nor should we expect the quarterback to be perfect.
Hello.
Right? Like, they are part of the process of making things easier for him.
Hello.
But respectfully, he was trash. He was. And I get it. Like, he's a gamer. When you need him to step up and put together a drive at the end,
that's a good trait.
He did that.
That's a good trait.
He did that. That's a great trait. That's what you want. But, man, you can't play like a scrub for 3 quarters and expect us to not call you out on that. So, like, the bottom line is he's got to figure it out. And look, it's interesting because late Sunday night, or was it maybe Monday morning, one of the two, I looked on StarTribune.com, and every single columnist and every single article was talking about his level of play realistically being subpar and just awful. That is not, put it like this. The wide receivers dropping balls was an issue.
Yeah.
But the storyline, and everybody knows this, was the quarterback played poorly.
Here's my thing.
If he plays well, the last 2 weeks you win.
Facts.
Yeah.
I can agree with that, but here's my thing. And this is what it's pissing me off, honestly, if we're being honest. Like with these columnists, these inside sources within the building that they give these anonymous quotes that won't come out and say, you know, how they feel about J.J. McCarthy, and all these people, these network analysts and former players and blah, 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 coming out here writing off him, and all these fans writing off J.J. McCarthy.
Which I'm not.
How many of you have been perfect your first 5 weeks on a job? Let's be real. How many former analysts that are players now that have been perfect in their first 5 games?
But hold on, nobody's asking for perfect.
No. But my thing is, they are. They are basically saying you should be coming out here and leading this team. The players are great, but it's like, come on now. It's like, my thing is, you look at the quarterbacks in his draft class. Drake May, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Caleb Williams, and Jaden Daniels. Who had came out there in their first 5 games, played phenomenal, and then sustained that level of play heading into this season? No, he hasn't.
Yeah, I mean, he
did great. He did great.
Jaden's been good. He was great last year,
but it has not been good.
Well, tell it off a little bit. He's been injured though.
That's part of the story. That's what JJ's problem.
Yeah. But I think that when you look at Jaden, though, when he gets on the football field, and he's not injured, like he plays a high level. He plays at a high level.
Didn't they get blown out by Seattle in the game he got hurt? They were down like 30 points when he dislocated his elbow in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So he wasn't playing great.
Yeah.
So consistently. That's enough.
But we can say that Jaden Daniels hasn't played great in a couple of games, but by and large, dude's a baller.
He is, and I'm not going to take that away from him.
Like if they redrafted
He probably goes one.
Yes,
For sure.
him and Drake
But
May
that-
are probably
but that-
going one.
That's what happens when you win the Heisman in college. All right, now here's
Yeah.
my story. Going back to this, Bo Nix. He's on one of the best football teams this year, but he's in the bottom half of the NFL in QBRs. Like, so when you talk about the quarterbacks in J.J. McCarthy's class, Caleb Williams, the number 1 overall pick, to this
He
season.
played terrible Sunday. Too.
Thank you. You get and this is the number 1 overall pick.
Yep.
Was a consensus top quarterback, 40 touchdown passes his junior season. Like
Yep.
the GOAT of all quarterbacks, allegedly, and still hasn't come out and pieced it together with a phenomenal offensive coordinator in Ben Johnson and weapons around him and a good offensive line. So my thing is, people need to take a chill pill. Like, everything is just under a microscope
I'm
now
with
with
you.
JJ.
I am with you, but this is where we can't be. I'm with you, okay? Because it's not just him. Like, there's other parts to the equation that have made up why the Vikings haven't been successful here this season. But the thing that we're not going to be able to do, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but I'm just talking about in general, the people that may want to protect J.J. McCarthy and talk about the sample size, and I get it, it's a small sample size, is that you know how, like, the politicians at the highest levels of government right now are gaslighting the American people?
For sure.
We can't do that with J.J. And this is what's so crazy is that I said this on Sunday morning. I tweeted about it because I was watching Sunday Countdown.
Mm-hmm.
And Randy Moss is like, hey, JJ, you got to step your game up, bro. He was like, this is your time. He called it out Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday evening, Emmanuel Acho, he tweets about JJ
I
being
know
a
where you're
gamer.
going.
And Chris Carter's like, did you watch the first 59 minutes of the game? So
Okay, it's
but
funny.
hold
you
on,
said-
hold on. And the reason why I bring it up is because those are Hall of Famers and Vikings
Facts.
legend, and they're invested. Chris was there. He was
He
at
was.
the game.
He was
yeah,
at the game.
Yeah.
So I had to go back and look up Chris Carter's stats after that. You know what he did his first 3 seasons before he got to Minnesota?
I mean, he was tricking off.
Not much.
I mean, yeah.
Not
yeah.
much.
But remember, he was going through a time.
He was going. JJ not
No, I'm talking about he was going through a time.
self-inflicted wounds.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying? So
Yes.
like my thing is like,
But it's not to say that they're wrong.
I'm not saying they're wrong, but I think people can be overcritical of 5 games when you look at everybody else total. All right, Randy Moss, come on now, like instant Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
GOAT. Can't say much about him. But you look at Chris Carter's stats, you look at Richard Sherman's stats who talking about him, you look at all these guys talking about him.
Yeah.
What were your stats your first 5 weeks? All these regular fans at home, all these beat writers, columnists, etc. You started somewhere small too, and if we go back and read your first 5 articles, I guarantee you they have nothing on where you are right now.
I have a rebuttal to that, though.
I'm listening.
Is that you're right that we should not have the expectation that JJ should have it figured out this season at all.
Right.
Like however 5-6 games in, whatever. The but to that though is we do have examples of, let's stick with just quarterbacks, of people coming into the league and tearing the league up.
For sure.
I mean, we just do. I mean, whether it's, and I know that Patrick Mahomes he's an outlier. We have Dak. When he came in for Tony Romo, we have Russell Wilson,
phenomenal offensive
Matt
lines.
Flynn, get him up out of there. So we do have examples of guys tearing the league up, and guys even in his draft class that have elevated themselves quickly. So what I'm saying is that I'm not expecting him to be perfect. I expect the guys around him to really elevate him and help him out. But we have to be critical of him.
For sure.
Because I don't think that babying him in this environment will help him long term.
I just don't think we can be overly critical and talking about
I give you that.
bench him. He's a bust.
No.
My gosh, it's 5 games.
Yeah.
Like, go find you something else to critique.
And the Max Brosmer stuff, like people talk about, well, we should give him a chance. The only reason why people are saying that is because he played for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. If he played for anybody else, we wouldn't even be talking about Max.
And we're not even going to get on the story that my man saw vanilla defenses all preseason long, was playing against 3s and 4s, and didn't take a snap against a 1 defense. Like, that's not the same. Any NFL player will tell you the game, the speed in preseason is vastly different from the regular season. No disrespect to Max Brosmer, but
Yeah.
cut it out. So all those fans at home talking about bench this, bench that.
Gotta stop.
Hey, pull up your job resume. Let's see how goated you were in the first 5 weeks. I guarantee you weren't. Let's knock it off. Get him, man, give him a whole season to work with. Let's look at the total body of work, and then we can reevaluate. Then we can be harsher next offseason or the first 5 weeks next season. But I think right now you got to let him go play football.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of people who didn't play football this past Friday, the Golden Gophers.
Oh, man.
They got waxed by Oregon. We kind of predicted that, though. 42-13. So it's another one of those games where you play a
No, I didn't predict that one. I didn't. Did I think that they were going to lose? Yeah, but what did we say here on the podcast a week ago? You got to go and put your best foot forward. They did not do that.
When do they versus top 10 teams?
29 points. I mean, there were people in the Vegas sports books clapping it up because Oregon covered, and the line was like 25.5.
It was.
That at some point we got to get PJ to have a signature on the road big time victory against an outstanding institution.
Hasn't happened since he's been here.
Yeah, and to me that worries me because we cannot. I don't want us to be in a situation where we have Gopher fans that take their hard-earned money and travel. Because when we talk about college football, that's one of the beautiful things about college football is going to these different venues.
It is.
And visiting there. And if you're an alum or just a fan or whatever and you go visit, you want to feel like you got a chance to win. And in the first few minutes of that game, in that first quarter, you were like, yeah, it's a wrap already. And that's terrible. You don't want to feel that way.
That's kind of how it is every time they play a really good team. And I hate when PJ.
I would have rather been South Carolina and have a
30-3
lead at halftime and feel good and then lose. I'd rather feel. Look, you don't want to lose at all.
Right.
But I'd rather have that type of game than the type of game we had.
Look, I understand. It's tough. Like, it's tough. It's a tough watch when you watch them against top 10 teams because you want them to be better.
Yeah.
And then they get beat. And then you hear PJ come to the podium like, this is one of the best teams we've seen all season. That was just a really good football team we got beat by. And it's just like, my man, like.
This Oregon team ain't better than last year's Oregon team.
Hello? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's it's frustrating watching them because you want them to be better. You want them to take that next step.
Yep.
But every year we're hovering around a 6 to 7, maybe 8 win mark. And it's like, it's time to take the next step. And I hate coming out here. It's not like we're bashing PJ, not like we're not fans of what he's doing, like as a culture for that program.
Yeah.
But like as people who cover this team, as you listen to and watch fans who watch this team, they want them to be better. They want them to be competitive, especially when you see what Kirk Cignetti is doing at Indiana and taking a program that hadn't had 10-win seasons in forever and going back-to-back 10-win seasons in his first 2 years. Like, It's doable, especially in this new NIL landscape. So what's the excuse for Minnesota? I see people say, oh, well, they don't have enough money. I mean, did Indiana have a ton of money before this past season? Like, Northwestern's turning things around. Like, I guarantee you Purdue will become an 8 to 9 win team in the next 2 to 3 years under Barry Odom.
And by the way, who we got up next?
Northwestern.
Yeah.
At Wrigley Field.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of Gopher fans had that circled as a sure guaranteed win.
It's not a guaranteed
It's
win.
not.
It's not a guaranteed
I
win.
watched the way they played against Michigan. They should have won that game.
They should have. That's at Wrigley Field. That's a competitive game. So my thing is, if you can't get it's hard to get guaranteed wins in Division I football. Like, you can do that circling before the season.
Yep.
But once you line it up, go play ball, it's hard to go get a win. Like, PJ will say that. I'll say that. Like, but you're University of Minnesota. Like, your football program has been ascending for the last 7 years since he's been here. You should be able to pencil in a win at Northwestern in the current state that their program is in right now.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can't says a lot about your team right now.
Yeah, I'm concerned because, when we talk about in professional sports being in the middle, that's not where you want to be. You either, and I know it's different because those guys are paid, tremendous salaries or whatever to go ahead and entertain the masses. But like, you either want to be excellent or you want to like bottom out. You don't want to bottom out in college football or whatever, or in college athletics because, it's not like you're drafting people or whatever. You're recruiting, which is different. But you don't want to be viewed as you're just right there. You want to be viewed as a program that's ascending.
For sure.
And right now, we're not in the class of ascending.
Right.
And we got to get back to that.
I hope they can get there soon while I'm here. I mean, I want so badly, especially with the way that the college football playoff is expanding. There is an opportunity. Yep. All you need is to win. Go 10-2. 10-2, you're in the conversation of being there. Get some big wins. You just need one.
And the other thing with this, and I'm not trying to create any controversy here, but I'm just thinking as a Gopher fan, would there be any concerns? Because we know the state of college football, and we know that money rules
everything.
Yeah, cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. I mean, do you think that people will be sniffing around our quarterback? I mean, that transfer portal and all that stuff, whatever. I'm just saying. When you got somebody with potential, I mean, there's gonna be a whole lot of programs at the end of when at the end of this year. There's gonna be like,
especially if he gets to a bowl game and does well. Look, he was an SEC caliber quarterback that didn't get the offer from Arkansas, his home state school.
They'll have a new coach coming up here soon.
Maybe Bobby Petrino will get the job full time. And he had them rolling before he had his little, affair scandal back in the day. So that being said, Gophers gonna have to pony up to keep him. Drake Lindsey.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to pony up if they want to keep him around, because I think that he does have a lot of potential. And I think if put in the right system, he can flash and flourish. Now, granted, that may be here in Minnesota, but I'm not convinced the way they've done things offensively since I've been here, or since I've known Minnesota and watched them play, that they really cater towards a quarterback with that skill set. So I don't know if it's the offensive coordinators or what. Maybe they need to go look for an offensive coordinator outside of this system and bring some juice, bring some life to that program and that offense. But right now, I think Drake Lindsey is good.
Yeah, I think he's good.
I think, he has a relationship with Coach Fleck. And look, Coach Fleck does have a great culture around that program. They love that man. They love playing for him. You love to see it. But fans would love to see them win competitive games versus good teams and play in meaningful bowl games outside of New York and Detroit.
The last point I'll make on that is that a lot of times here in Minnesota, when we talk about Gopher football, we talk about we got to find a quarterback. We got to find a quarterback. We got to find a quarterback. Mm-hmm. You found a quarterback. Now you got to keep him.
Absolutely. All right, can we talk about Gophers basketball and Nico Medved real fast? They're off to a pretty good start. One loss on the record right now. Just got a win the other night against Chicago State. They lost to Mizzou.
Yeah.
That game, though, they were in it.
They were in it. It got away from them.
That second half, that Mizzou just came out and they didn't know what hit them.
Yeah, it really was around that 13-minute mark.
Yeah.
And actually, so shout out to my guy Nico Medved. We had a conversation at the Wolves game on Friday night because he was courtside supporting his former player, Colorado State, Nick Clifford. Mm-hmm. And so at halftime, me and him caught up in the Lexus Club, and we were just kind of talking. And I was talking to him about that game because I watched the Mizzou game and how things kind of got out of control, whatever. It happened in the blink of an eye, to be honest with you.
Man.
It really did. It snowballed. But the fight was there.
It was.
They were in the game.
They were.
And there were a couple of stretches that really hurt them. Mm-hmm. And I know you was invested in terms of watching Mizzou and all that.
Absolutely.
But in that first half, they really had it going. And then there was a stretch where Mizzou went on like an 8-0 or 9 run, kind of like late in that first half. Mm-hmm. And so the momentum started to switch before halftime. Then both teams are playing each other, back and forth there early in the second half, but then around that 13-minute mark,
that run they couldn't recover from.
They couldn't recover from that.
They were doing so well that I had a couple sportscasters from Mizzou hit me up, and they said, how bad or how good is this Minnesota team this year? Because Mizzou's struggling with them right now. I said, I'm watching. I said, you don't have to tell me. I said, but it's the unknown. I said, no one knows what they're going to be this year because it's 11 new players on this roster. It's a whole new coaching staff with the exception of one coach. So I'm like, we really don't know what we're getting from this group yet. But you saw potential there. But I think you also saw they need a couple more pieces.
Yeah, but so I think that the Mizzou loss actually was a good thing from this perspective. In that, because I did the same thing. I'm texting people in Kansas City and stuff like that, that are big Mizzou guys or whatever. And I'm like, man, is y'all? I mean, what's going on here? What's Coach Gates doing?
Right.
And I say a good thing because coming out of the Missouri game, because they played 2 games and they won both since then.
Yep.
The K. Tyson kid, right? Like who's been,
I like him.
He's been awesome for them.
I like that player.
In the Mizzou game, that's where you bumped your head and you're like, yeah, he can't carry this team.
Nope.
Like, you got to have other pieces like you just talked about. And I think that in the last couple of games, we have seen other guys contribute because they understand this ain't a one-man band. This ain't a one-man show. So I think that that's one of the things that you take out of the Missouri loss is that guys kind of looked around and said, you know what? We'll contribute. You know, we have to contribute because once we get into actual Big Ten play, we gotta help our guy out.
Right.
But they're not deep.
Right.
And me and Nico talked about that.
Look, losses are never good, but I think that was somewhat of a good loss for them early on. Let them know where they are and where they need to go in order to be the team that they want to be. They all talked to me about playing in the NCAA tournament. That was a good wake-up call for them before Big Ten play starts. So,
hey, real quick, I gotta tell this story. So Saturday night, I went out to Mystic Lake because I was invited. You know, I like MMA and stuff like that, whatever. So I know a local promoter. Shout out Jeremy with Ignite Fights. I go out to Mystic for a UFC watch party. And so I'm up at the watch party, and I'm watching the Gopher game, okay, the game on Saturday. And did you see how the end of the game transpired?
yes, it was crazy.
So here I am. I'm showing it. I'm like, oh, we won.
And then,
He threw it up. Oh, he hit a 3. And so I turned it off, right?
and then you're like, wait, what?
And then I go back a couple minutes later to just see something, whatever, and they're playing again. And I'm
Yeah.
like, telling everybody, I'm like, man, it didn't count.
It was an eventful ending to that game.
It was.
I was watching that game. I'm like, God. But they pulled it out.
They did pull
They
it out.
pulled
yeah.
it out. So that was the most important thing. I got to transition to talk about the women real fast before we have to end this podcast.
Yeah.
4-0 right now. Big test versus the Kansas Jayhawks tonight, 6:30. Dawn Plitzowite has these ladies hooping.
Yeah.
They have 10 players averaging 10 or more minutes a game. McKenna Christian is freshman, balling right now. Tori McKinney, she was a freshman last year that had to play, you know, and stepped up into a starting role last year with the injuries that sustained, you know, with Mara Braun and whatnot. And now she's playing. This team is deep.
My battle, yep.
They are good. This is going to be an ultimate test. Well, I won't say an ultimate test for them, but they're on the road in Kansas playing a 4-0 Jayhawk basketball team.
Yeah, so the one thing that I can say is that, look, we know that the Gopher women have been phenomenal to start this year. We know that this is the deepest team that we've seen in years. I'm intrigued by this matchup just because it's a Power 5 team that's undefeated, but I don't know what Kansas is.
Neither do I.
So we'll see. We'll see.
I think the Gopher women, the Gopher men's basketball programs are headed down the right track right now. I think this is going to be an exciting year for hoops. If you haven't gotten out to the barn to support those two teams, you need to, because I think those are going to be two of your most important teams in years to come here on that campus.
And to that point, I'm glad you brought that up, is don't wait around to support Don and Nico. Don't wait around. I'm dead serious. And when I say that, I really do mean that, because I think that right now Gopher fans are waiting for Nico to get it up and running. No, get in on the ground floor right now and go make the barn as live as it's ever been, because I think that atmosphere is electric, and we gonna have recruits coming in all year long. So, like, don't have it be a ghost town. Don't wait till it's popping.
Right.
Let's make it popping right now.
Nico's building that program, like we just said, and Dawn's going to have those ladies in the top 25, and once they get there, they're not going anywhere. So go ahead and get out to the barn. Go pack that place out, because it is fun when it's rocking, and they all deserve your support. Couple other notes. Minnesota's getting a pro volleyball team that's going to be coming to the Grand Casino Arena. That's fire. And then I just saw in the WNBA, the new proposal right now, and their CBA is that the max contract that a player can receive right now, $1.1 million. Do you think that's enough
For Max,
for max?
from where it's been, yeah, that's a significant raise.
Do you think that's enough for a max? Where you're talking about a Paige Beckers, a Caitlin Clark, a Angel Reese? Do you think $1.1 million for just one player is enough?
Yeah. I think that Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers and those guys are capable of make. I mean, do I think that they should make more than that? Yeah, but across the league, I don't think that every team is going to have a max player. I think that becomes the issue, because, like, who would be the max player on Golden State? I don't think they really have one. So if you want to say raise it to $2 million or whatever, I mean, you could always advocate that they make a little bit more, but I guess what I'm saying is, across the board, how many teams are going to have a max player?
I just think you have to think about years down the road. Like, I think eventually every team will have a max player in 5 to 6 years. You're talking about the recruiting class that USC is on a roll right now. Like, Juju Watkins going to come out, and then you got Sarah Strong from UConn is going to come out. Like, you're talking about ballers coming into the league. I do think that $1.1 million is not enough for a max player, because I think that what Caitlin Clark, what Nafisa Collier, what Paige Beckers, what they can bring in off the court is significantly more. So I think they should be, their contributions should be a little bit more in their pay scale, because they're filling arenas. Now, granted, no one quite fills the seats like a Caitlin Clark and her fan base.
Yeah.
But who's to say that won't change in years to come? So I think that $1.1 million is a step in the right direction for the new CBA deals, but it needs to go higher. These ladies, look, they've been deserving of more money for quite a long time now.
Yeah.
So let's raise that pay a little bit. Let's get it going. Last thing we want to see is a lockout, especially with the direction the WNBA is headed right now, the momentum they're picking up, the popularity's growing. Let's not waste any of this, Let's capitalize on it. All right, that was a good episode. We didn't talk Timberwolves this time. We'll make sure we touch up on them. They're doing good right now. Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, everybody's playing good. Naz Reid.
And we will know next week at this time whether the Loons have advanced.
Yes, we will. Playoff soccer. Look, everybody's doing okay right now. Wilder playing a lot better this past month. Vikings. Come on, man. Big game this weekend versus the Packers. Come on, y'all. Let's get a win. Let's get to one game under 500. Get to 3-1 in the division. Then me and Henry can have something more positive to talk about other than J.J. McCarthy and his struggles. But we appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll see y'all next week.